So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Data Structures Theory Sessions. Today morning, we had one session where we have completed dynamic memory allocation, right? Now we haven't started our data structure units, which we are going to start now. The first unit is Introduction to Data Structures. Now, as you know that dynamic memory allocation is needed before we jump to the data structures and start implementing few data structures. So that we have covered already. And now we'll start the first unit of data structure subject, the very basic one, introduction part. And this unit also covers overview of all the data structures that we are going to cover. Array, stack, queue, linked list, types of linked lists, then tree, graph, and so on. So in this unit, current unit, we are going to just see how those data structure looks and where we can use those data structures. Few applications, examples. Later on, starting from second unit, we will dig deep to those data structures and we'll start learning those data structures, how we can implement those. Okay? Yeah, so in this unit, this is what university has proposed, the topics that we need to cover under first unit, Introduction to Data Structure. We'll start with the basic one, where we need data structures. How are we going to manage our data? So once we understand how we are going to manage it, then the use of data structure, picture of where do you use data structures will be clear. And then what we have learned already in the previous semester, which is data types, primitive and non-primitive data types, right? That you have already covered in previous semester, PPS or MU students, C programming, computer programming subject. Now, once you know that, non-primitive data types, some of them are going to be covered here as a data structures. One example is array, and few other we will see. So after that, we are going to cover types of data structures and then linear and non-linear data structure difference. Okay, so let's start with the first one, the data management concept. Where do we actually want to manage our data? And what is the importance of managing a data? Can we dump everything in a single place? Will it be feasible? Let's say I have a record of every student present in this class, and that record contains student full name, semester, current semester, enrollment number, phone number, address, SPI, CPI. Now, can I dump everything in a single file? No. Why not? Where do you think it will create a problem? Just throw your views. Where do you think it will create a problem? Hard to manage. Now, when I say manage means what? Okay, we can't get clear view. View means it is not easy to extract something what we want from that file. If I dump everything in a single file without any structure, then what if I want to find out particular student SPI? It won't be easy to find it out, right? एक फाइल के अंदर सब कुछ डाल दिया, तो उसमें मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि रोल नंबर 53 का एसपीआई निकालना है तो कैसे निकालूं? पूरा फाइल सर्च करना पड़ेगा, राइट? And then maybe you hit your required data and you have that data. Now that's the case for one student. What if I say मुझे 10 student के current SPI चाहिए? And we are talking about single class. What if I say Puri University student? We have 10,000 students here. So we need to define a structure. और वो स्ट्रक्चर हम कुछ इस तरह से डिफाइन करेंगे कि भाई एक स्टूडेंट अगर मैं पकड़ लूं, तो वो स्टूडेंट का जो डेटा है, आई एम गोइंग टू फिक्स द सीक्वेंस. The first one will be enrollment number, second one will be the name, third is going to be the phone number, fourth is going to be the current semester, fifth is going to be the SPI, then CPI. अगर ये मैं फिक्स कर लूं सीक्वेंस, हर एक स्टूडेंट का डेटा इसी सीक्वेंस में मैं रखूंगा, और जब फाइल के अंदर मैं ये डेटा डालता हूं तो नए स्टूडेंट का डेटा नई लाइन पे जाएगा. अगर ये फिक्स कर लूं, then it will be easy. From every line मुझे सबसे पहला नंबर चेक करना है, which is going to be the enrollment number. अगर वो मैच नहीं होता तो मैं डायरेक्ट जंप कर दूंगा नेक्स्ट लाइन पर, right? So using that enrollment number I can search a student. जैसे ही मुझे स्टूडेंट मिलता है तो I know that fourth place I have SPI. मुझे सिर्फ वही चाहिए. Now that's kind of a table, virtual table we have created. Number of lines will be the rows, and the data, name, enrollment number, address, phone number, SPI, CPI, those are going to be the columns. So tabular format is we can say very much easy to maintain, search, manipulate, right? अगर किसी का डेटा अपडेट करना है तो भी वो इजी रहेगा आपके लिए, टेबल फॉर्मेट में अगर आपने डेटा रखा है. So here you can say, okay, if we go for table format, now that's one kind of a data structure. The structure that you have decided, एक टेबल बनाऊंगा जिसमें 5 कॉलम रहेगी और जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं उतनी रो क्रिएट करूंगा. So that's one structure, right? पूरा डेटा मेंटेन करने के लिए मैंने एक स्ट्रक्चर डिफाइन कर लिया. इसी स्ट्रक्चर में मैं सारा डेटा डंप कर दूंगा. क्यों किया? बिकॉज वी वांटेड टू एक्सट्रैक्ट सम डेटा, सम मीनिंगफुल इंफॉर्मेशन. वी ऑल्सो वांट टू अपडेट इट. हर साल नए स्टूडेंट आएंगे, पुराने स्टूडेंट निकलेंगे. हर सेमेस्टर में स्टूडेंट का SPI CPI अपडेट होगा, right? So we also want to maintain that data throughout multiple years. I want to update it, I want to search it, I want to delete some data, I want to insert some new data also. So those are the operations that we do always on data: insert, delete, update, search, traverse. अगर पूरा डेटा डिस्प्ले करना है, then we simply traverse and display. So those are the basic operations that we perform on any data. तो ultimate aim हमारा ये रहेगा that we should perform these operations efficiently in less time, in less number of resources. Here resource is going to be your CPU and RAM. सॉफ्टवेयर के लिए रिसोर्स क्या रहेगा? आपकी रैम और आपका प्रोसेसर. सो इन लेस टाइम, लेस रिसोर्सेस अगर आप वो ऑपरेशन कर सकते हो तो वो आपके लिए बेटर है. एंड दैट्स द अल्टीमेट एम. टू अचीव दैट एम we decide few structures. So those are the points written here. Program should give correct result जो हमें चाहिए. If I am searching something तो मुझे correct result मिलना चाहिए. If I am updating something तो वो perfectly update होना चाहिए. वही record update होना चाहिए, दूसरा नहीं. So it should give correct result. Along with that, it should run efficiently. कम time, कम resource में run हो जाना चाहिए. So that's the ultimate aim. Now, efficient program की जब हम बात करते हैं, then it is going to be minimum time, minimum memory space. It should require. And we as a developer are going to write efficient program so that we can apply data management concepts properly. So that's what we are going to achieve here. So what exactly management concept will include? We talked about data, we talked about operations on data. But when we say management concept, then it consists of data collection first. You collect all your data. What actually the data you are going to maintain? You should know about it. Just like I said, I'm going to maintain student data. अगर student data बोला तो उसके अंदर भी मैं क्या रखूंगा वो clear होना चाहिए. Student का नाम, enrollment number, phone number, address, SPI, CPI, that must be clear. So data collection, then you organize that data. जो sequence हमने fix किया कि पहले मेरा enrollment number रहेगा, उसके बाद नाम, उसके बाद phone number, address, then SPI, then CPI. So we are going to organize that data in a proper structure. That's the second point. Once we organize that data properly, then we are going to think about operations on it. So developing and maintaining routines. Routines are nothing but some tasks that we want to perform. It's nothing but the operation. So then what we do is we develop or we maintain a routine which is we are going to perform on that data. And those routines must be based on quality assurance. Now, when we say quality assurance, that's where efficient program comes, right? Minimum time, minimum memory. So now if you want to define data management concept or let's say data structure in a single statement, then this is what you can write it. Look, every author defines data structure in a different way, but the ultimate conclusion is going to be the same. A data structure is nothing but particular way of storing your data and organizing your data in a computer so that it can be used efficiently. Gather, structurize, and perform some operation. ये ऊपर के तीन कंसेप्ट जो हैं, तीन लाइन, तीन वर्ड, जो भी आप समझ लो, इन तीनों को मिला के एक स्टेटमेंट बनाओ that's going to define your data structure. Okay? So that's the data management concept and the data structure. So now we'll go in depth of the data structures now. जब आप data structure select करते हो for any data, let's say student data हो, banking का data हो, or let's say you are developing a software for any tournament, cricket match है, football match है, कोई भी है, tennis है, you are maintaining record of those tournaments in your software. You are creating a website and you are going to have e-commerce website. There also you'll need some data. Everywhere data is going to be there and you have to manage your data. And to manage that data, we always define some kind of a structure depending on data, remember. What kind of data you have, you will decide your data structure. So when you go and select your data structure, what you think is you need to think about these 3 points. When you go and select your data structure, you should ask these questions to yourself. And what are those steps or questions? Analysis of the problem to determine basic operations. जो डेटा आपके पास आएगा वही डेटा आप यूज करोगे, लेकिन उसमें कौन कौन से ऑपरेशंस करने वाले हो. Is it only you are going to store it, that's it? Or later point of time you are going to update it? Maybe you are going to delete some data at some point of time. Do we need to search in that data? कभी भी सर्च करने की जरूरत पड़ेगी या नहीं? Right? So what kind of operations you want to perform on that data, वो आपको पहले सोचना है. Because search operation on a large data is a critical process. 10,000 स्टूडेंट का रिकॉर्ड है और मुझे एक स्टूडेंट उसमें से ढूंढना है, then it's going to be the critical process for me. अगर मैं वो पूरा डेटा एक फाइल के अंदर कंटिन्यूअस लाइन बाय लाइन रखूंगा, तो अगर एक फाइल के अंदर मैंने सारे स्टूडेंट का डेटा लाइन बाय लाइन रख दिया, then searching a student from that file will take time. वन बाय वन में एक एक स्टूडेंट का एनरोलमेंट नंबर देखता जाऊंगा. अगर वो स्टूडेंट 9015th रो पे है, तो ऑलमोस्ट पूरी फाइल जब मैं रीड करूंगा तब पता चलेगा, ओ आई फाउंड दैट स्टूडेंट. दैट्स अ टाइम कंज्यूमिंग टास्क. Now that is a linear search. Now you might have gone for linear search operation in previous semester. एरे में से एक नंबर सर्च करना है तो कैसे करते थे आप? एक लूप लिख लो, i equals to 0, i less than n, और उसके अंदर if condition a of i is your required number or not. That's how you search. Now that is linear search process, a search operation, and we are performing it in linear manner. In your 4th unit, data structure subject में चौथा यूनिट है आपका searching and sorting, and at that time we will also see binary search operation, जो आपका search time कम कर सकता है, provided आपका data sorted हो. अगर आपका डेटा ऑलरेडी सॉर्टेड है तो आप बाइनरी सर्च अप्लाई कर सकते हो और वो कम टाइम में आपको रिजल्ट देगा. लेकिन डेटा क्या होना चाहिए? सॉर्टेड, ऑलरेडी सॉर्ट किया हुआ चाहिए. सो दैट्स द डेटा स्ट्रक्चर वी हैव डिसाइडेड. आई एम गोइंग टू मेंटेन माय रिकॉर्ड इन सॉर्टेड मैनर. तो वो मुझे पहले से सोच के रखना पड़ेगा. नाउ दैट वाज वन एग्जांपल. सेकंड वन, लेट्स से मेरे पास 10,000 स्टूडेंट का रिकॉर्ड है जो मुझे मेमोरी में डालना है, बट आई डोंट हैव इनफ कंटिन्यूअस मेमोरी जहां पे मैं वो पूरा डेटा स्टोर कर पाऊं. Look, I have enough memory, but I don't have continuous memory. Understand my point? मेरे पास इतनी रैम है कि मैं सारा डेटा स्टोर कर सकूं, लेकिन वो मेमोरी कंटिन्यूअस नहीं है. मेरी रैम के अंदर 100 GB, लेट्स गो फॉर 100 MB. 100 MB का एक ब्लॉक खाली है, उसके बाद जो मेमोरी है कोई और सॉफ्टवेयर यूज कर रहा है. I have another 200 MB block free, and then again some other software is using that part. I have a third block of 400 MB, let's say, okay, and so on. So I do have 100 MB, 200 MB, and 400 MB blocks where I can store my data, but I don't have that continuous allocation. When you go for array, array requires continuous memory allocation. If I declare one array of student for 10,000 elements, तो मेरा program नहीं चलेगा, because it cannot allocate memory for that much amount of RAM. So program will not continue, it will crash, fatal error, no enough memory available. We know that we have that memory available, still it says program आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि continuous memory allocation नहीं हो पाया. Array को continuous memory allocation चाहिए. That's the limitation of array. So at that time we can perform, or we can go for linked list. We can go for linked list. Linked list क्या करता है? वो एक लिस्ट है जिसको हम लिंक करते हैं. एक लिस्ट, लेकिन वो कंटिन्यू नहीं होगा. ओके, 100 स्टूडेंट एक जगह पे रख दिए, लास्ट स्टूडेंट को बोल दिया कि तेरे बाद जो स्टूडेंट है वो इस जगह पे पढ़ा है, वहां से ले लो, उसका रिकॉर्ड इस एड्रेस पे है. नाउ हियर कम्स द एड्रेस, pointers. So it is something like inside your memory, okay, you have free block here, so you store some data at this place, then you have another block available at this place, you store remaining data at this place. But what you'll do is at the end of your first block you will maintain the address of next block. At the end of the second block you will maintain the address of third block inside your memory. So this is how you can have your data stored at different locations. Still it is a linear one, एक के बाद दूसरा, दूसरे के बाद तीसरा. Physically वो continuous memory में नहीं है, virtually it is a linear one. जब तक मैं पहला ब्लॉक एक्सेस नहीं करूंगा मुझे सेकंड ब्लॉक का एड्रेस नहीं मिलेगा. करेक्ट? Until and unless I read my first block and go up to that address, I don't know where my second block is. So I have to go through linearly. I'll have the address of second block. Second block जब read करूंगा तो तीसरे block का address मिलेगा, and so on. So access of your data will be in a linear manner. Okay? So here comes what kind of operations you are going to perform. अगर search करना है, बड़ा data है, then binary search सोचेंगे. उससे भी बड़ा data है, then the last unit of your entire syllabus, file structures, जहाँ पे indexing आएगा, hashing and indexing, that we will also see at the end of this course. So you have to think about it and then you decide whether I should go for normal array or I should go for linked list. If there is any kind of parent child relationship तो फिर मुझे tree बनाना पड़ेगा. Somehow I should maintain parent and child relationship, तो हम tree बनाएंगे, and so on. So based on that thing we are going to decide our data structure. That's first one. Second one, quantify the resource constraint. So what amount of data you will have. 10,000 स्टूडेंट है या फिर एक ही क्लास, राइट? आपकी मूवी है, कौन सी है? सीडी, डीवीडी, ब्लू रे, कौन सी फाइल है? यू हैव टू थिंक अबाउट इट. जब आप फ्रेंड के पास मूवी लेने जाते हो तो पेन ड्राइव लेके जाओगे, कितने जीबी की लेके जाओगे? 2 जीबी का चलेगा? नो. अगर वो ब्लू रे डिस्क का ओरिजिनल फाइल है तो 2 जीबी में नहीं आएगा. चलो आपके फ्रेंड ने ये भी बता दिया कि वो रिप किया हुआ है, चलेगा, 1 GB में है। दूसरा क्वेश्चन आपके पास ये आएगा, एक मूवी है या एक से ज्यादा है? कितने मूवीज लाने हैं आपके फ्रेंड के पास से? 2 GB पेन ड्राइव चलेगा? नहीं चलेगा। सो व्हाट वी डू हियर, we think about what kind of data I want from my friend. Based on that, we are going to select our pen drive. या तो फिर पूरा हार्ड डिस्क लेके जाएंगे, करेक्ट? So that's the same thing we have to go through here. What kind of data and what amount of data we have, then we select our data structure. So based on these 2 points, you select your data structure that best meets your requirements. Fine? So friend अगर बोलेगा कि मेरे पास पूरा नया कलेक्शन आया है हॉलीवुड मूवीज का, ऑल आर ब्लू-रे डिस्क रिप्स, AVI फाइल्स, बट मल्टीपल फाइल्स है तो हम सीधा हार्ड डिस्क लेके जाएंगे, अब भाई जितने भी है डाल दे इसमें। देन ऑल्सो वी हैव अ प्रॉब्लम, आपकी हार्ड डिस्क में जगह है, दूसरे फ्रेंड के पास से आपने ऑलरेडी फुल कर लिया, देन you will create some space and then you will go to your friend, right? So we think about it also, वो भी हमें यहाँ पे करना है। Do we have continuous memory available? Otherwise we are going to create it and then we will create a new memory or create a new variable. Yeah, so when we develop any application, we are going to point these three, we are going to discuss these 3 points. First, we are going to define our data and its operations. क्या है डेटा और उस पर कौन से ऑपरेशंस होंगे। Then based on that data and operations, we are going to define what should be the representation of that data. टेबल में रखूं या अलग अलग रखूंगा, फाइल में डालूंगा या फिर एरे में डालूंगा, क्या करूंगा मैं। So then we are going to define the representation of that data and then at the end we are going to implement it. So the last step is going to be your implementation, how you are going to implement your data structure. Now all these things consist or all these things are covered under data structure and data management concepts. Okay, so if you are clear about that thing, then let us start thinking towards data structure. I want to create one data structure, लेकिन अगर वो मुझे create करना है तो पहले मुझे data types समझने होंगे, क्योंकि अगर मैं एक डेटा अपने प्रोग्राम को देता हूं तो प्रोग्राम के अंदर वेरिएबल कौन सा डिक्लेयर करूंगा। अगर मैं नंबर देता हूं तो वो इंटीजर भी हो सकता है, फ्लोट भी हो सकता है, डबल भी हो सकता है, लॉन्ग भी हो सकता है, अनसाइंड भी हो सकता है। टू मेक इट एफिशिएंट, proper data type we should select. We know that unsigned integer number ही आएगा मेरे पास, तो फिर मैं सिंपल इंटीजर क्यों लूं। अगर सिंपल इंटीजर लूंगा, because of some problem, mistake or malfunctioning of my code, कैलकुलेशन नेगेटिव में गया तो प्रोग्राम कोई एरर नहीं देगा ना, क्योंकि इट कैन हैंडल इंटीजर वैल्यूज एंड इंटीजर वैल्यूज कैन बी नेगेटिव, तो प्रोग्राम कोई एरर नहीं देगा आपको, इट विल रन। दैट्स नॉट करेक्ट। अगर मैं अनसाइंड इंटीजर वेरिएबल लेता हूं और कैलकुलेशन कहीं पे नेगेटिव जाता है, देन प्रोग्राम विल जनरेट एक्सेप्शन एंड आई कैन हैंडल दैट एक्सेप्शन, right? So that's one more reason we should select proper data types of the variables. So let's start from the step number 1, data types. Primitive, and using primitive data types you can create non-primitive data types also. And by using non-primitive data types you can create some data structures. So that will be the final step. creating a data structure. Okay. So I'll go through these types or data types very quickly because you have covered this already in the previous semester. There are two major classification, we can say, primitive and non-primitive. Now, can anyone define what is primitive data type? Oh, well, the answer is already given in this slide. A primitive data type is nothing but predefined, inbuilt data type available. And some examples, we'll be taking example from C language only, क्योंकि अभी तक आपने सिर्फ C language पढ़ा है. So we'll go through the examples of C. We can say integer, character, float, double, long, short, signed, unsigned. All these are primitive data types. Void is also a data type. I believe you know that. Void is also a data type. Okay. So those are the primitive data types. Now, non-primitive data types are something which is not defined already, but we create it using primitive ones. And the examples for that, we'll take example which we are going to learn: stack, queue, linked list, tree, and graph. So these are going to be non-primitive. Array is also non-primitive data type. You can have array of integer, you can have array of character, array of float, and so on. So आप array बनाते हो using primitive data types, integer, float, character, and so on, which is nothing but collection of elements, right? And those elements need to be of same data type. सारे के सारे elements same data type के होने चाहिए, तभी आप array बोल सकते हो. अगर आपके एलिमेंट सेम डेटा टाइप के नहीं है तो क्या करोगे? What if my elements are of not same data type? तो फिर मैं क्या करूंगा? Correct. Rishita is saying correct answer. We go for structure. Structure is again collection of elements where elements may or may not be of same data type, right? So array, collection of element, structure is also collection of element. वहां पे हम elements को member बोलते हैं, structure के मामले में हम उसको members बोलते हैं, but it is collection. In terms of array, all the elements need to be of same data type. In terms of structure, we can have one character, another character array, maybe third one integer, and so on, right? So array and structure is also non-primitive data type, and we create those using basic types: integer, character, float, and so on. So these are the basic data types. Now we'll start looking at non-primitive data type, or we can say the data structures that we will cover in this entire syllabus. अभी के लिए हम सिर्फ overview लेंगे. Starting from unit 2, we'll go in depth. So we are going to see array. What is array? It's a data structure consisting of actually the collection of elements. Elements कैसे होने चाहिए? Similar data. जब भी आप array define करते हो तो ये दो words आने compulsory हैं in a single line. Collection of elements having same data type. आप अपने एग्जाम में सिर्फ इतना लिख के रख दोगे तो भी चलेगा, right? Okay. And one more point, each element in the array has some associated index, and the index will start from 0. right? Another one, elements in the array are going to be stored in consecutive memory locations. जब भी आप array डिक्लेयर करते हो तो उसकी मेमोरी जो है वो कंटिन्यूअस मिलनी चाहिए. Only then your program will continue. And the syntax, you all know, integer data type, marks is the identifier, variable name, and into the square bracket we define maximum size of the array, 5 elements. And if I represent this array in terms of memory, then it is going to be the block of memory. Inside that block, we will have all those elements having some index values starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, because maximum size is 5. Using index, we can access those elements. So your variable name into the square bracket index. So marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3, and so on will give you those elements. These are the elements, this is the entire array, and these are the indexes, right? So whenever we draw array, this is how we can represent the array representation. अगर यहाँ पे मैं memory address भी लिखूं, then it is going to be something like, if the base address of this array is 2000, and let us assume integer requires 2 bytes, then the next element will be at 2002, third element will be at 2004, then 2006, and so on. These are going to be the address of your elements. Just to represent, memory is consecutive. Continuous memory है, वो दिखाने के लिए आप एड्रेस दिखा सकते हो. Fine. Well, so that's what the array is. Now, as I already told you, there is a limitation of array. Continuous memory allocation is one limitation of array. It is fixed size. When you declare your array, you have to define the size, and it is going to be fixed. अगर वो fix नहीं करना है, then you should go for dynamic memory allocation. Then also it is going to be fixed. When you want to change the size, you have to reallocate memory, correct? So that's why we can always write array is of fixed size. Whether you go for static declaration or whether you go for dynamic memory allocation, it is fixed. Data elements are stored in contiguous memory allocation. अगर continue memory available नहीं है, then you cannot go for array. And then adding and removing some elements within or from your array is tough. Now we'll see few operations on array also, and then you will understand why these operations are tough on the array. But right now you can understand it by, if you want to add one element, बाकी के elements आपको shift करने होंगे to create a space for your new data. If I say that I want to I want to ask one student to sit in between two, तो पहले दोनों के बीच में मुझे एक जगह बनानी पड़ेगी, so that I can say, okay, third student may sit in between. Just something like that inside the array. अगर कोई नया एलिमेंट डालना है तो पहले जगह बनाओ. अगर कोई एलिमेंट डिलीट करते हो तो उसकी खाली जगह का क्या करोगे? बाकी के एलिमेंट्स को आगे शिफ्ट करके लेके आओ. So you have to go for shifting operations, and that is going to be the overhead. इंसर्ट डिलीट तो किया, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ मुझे शिफ्टिंग भी करना पड़ा. दैट्स द ओवरहेड, एक्स्ट्रा प्रोसेस मुझे करना पड़ेगा. So it is tough, right? So these are few limitations of arrays. And now let us understand linked list, then we will stop for today. Now, I know that this is the last lecture and you are fed up with 5 earlier sessions. We'll go for limited content today. So let us see what is linked list. अभी तक हमने जो देखा वो पूरा का पूरा revision kind of thing था. Data types, arrays, how to manage data, what are the operations. Fine. Now something comes which is something you haven't seen before. Linked list. So what is linked list? It's a group of node. Now what is node we will see, but it's a group of node which together represents a sequence. एक से ज्यादा नोड आप एक सीक्वेंस में रख लो, देन इट क्रिएट्स अ लिस्ट. अब वो सारे के सारे नोड जो है आपको लिंक करने होंगे. यू आर गोइंग टू लिंक दोज नोड्स एंड इट क्रिएट्स अ लिंक लिस्ट. नाउ हाउ नोड लुक्स लाइक. सो इन अ सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म, एक सिंपल फॉर्म अभी देखते हैं. So in a simplest form, node will have two portions or two information inside. It is composed of a data itself, जो data आपको store करना है वो, and the reference of next node. उसके बाद कौन सा data आएगा उसका reference, उसका pointer, उसका एड्रेस, आप जैसे भी समझो, right? So in other words, it's a link. So a node will have two portions inside. One is the data and second one is the reference. Now this creates your one node, and how your linked list will look like. So you will have one node with some data and a reference pointer to the next node. So you can have a second node here. A second node can have some data and a pointer to the third node. Third node can have some data and a pointer to the next node. मान लो कि ये लास्ट नोड है आपका, इसके बाद आपके पास और कोई डेटा है ही नहीं. Then you are going to store null value. It indicates this is the end of the linked list. And you always refer this entire linked list with start or head. Start or head. That's going to be the pointer, which will always be pointing to the first node of your linked list. Okay? And this is how your linked list will look like. This is called singly linked list. There are few types of linked list we will see later. So linked list is nothing but a collection of nodes, and node can have data part and a pointer. Pointer may be to next node, pointer may be for previous node, depending on the type of the linked list. Now, how do you create this node? How do we create a node? Data can be integer. Reference will always be pointer. How do we create a node? मुझे एक डेटा स्टोर करना है, एक पॉइंटर स्टोर करना है. Combinedly, I can say it's a node. So what should I do here? Sorry? No, how do I create this node inside a program? I want to store data. So I should declare a variable to store that data. And let's assume data is going to be integer. Along with that, I want a reference pointer. So it's going to be star p, pointer variable. Now what should be the data type of this pointer? Why integer? That pointer is pointing to next. Yeah, Rishita, that's correct. It is going to be the address. Address of what? Address of next node. It is going to be the address of next node. How do you define node? That's where we create a structure. I have two members. Both are having some different data type. Then I should go for structure. So I'll create a structure called node, which will have one member, integer member data. And the second member is going to be pointer. And that pointer is of what type now? It is going to point a next node. अब node को हमने structure से define किया, तो ये pointer का data type क्या बनेगा? Structure. So the data type of pointer variable is going to be the structure node data type. Now this is how you define your structure, and that structure is for node. हमने एक node define किया. Now your linked list will have multiple nodes. करेक्ट? तो ये जो स्ट्रक्चर आपने डिफाइन किया है उसके मल्टीपल इंस्टेंसेस आप बनाओगे. एक से ज्यादा इसके लिए मेमोरी एलोकेट करोगे. स्टूडेंट 1, स्टूडेंट 2, स्टूडेंट 3 एंड सो ऑन. अगर स्टूडेंट स्ट्रक्चर है तो आप S1, S2, S3 वेरिएबल्स डिक्लेयर करते हो. तो सिमिलरली यहाँ पे एक से ज्यादा नोड है तो नोड 1, नोड 2, नोड 3 कुछ इस तरह से करना पड़ेगा. बट वी विल नॉट डिक्लेयर N1, N2, N3 statically. We'll define it runtime. Okay, so that is what your linked list data structure is. Now if we do this, and this is the representation, अगर यहाँ पे कोई नया नोड इंसर्ट करना है तो किसी को शिफ्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You simply update your pointers. If you want to delete an existing node, then also you simply update your pointers. You need not to shift any data. And that's why we say insertion or removal of any elements inside linked list is more efficient than the array. यहाँ पे कुछ शिफ्ट ऑपरेशन नहीं करना है, यहाँ पे हमें सिर्फ पॉइंटर मैनेज करना है. सो इफ एवरी स्टूडेंट इन द क्लास रिमेंबर्स कि भाई उसके बाद किसका नंबर आता है. रोल नंबर 1 को पता है कि 2 कौन है, 2 को पता है 3 कौन है, 3 को पता है 4 कौन है. अगर रोल नंबर 4 वाला स्टूडेंट एडमिशन कैंसिल करेगा, रोल नंबर 4 वाला स्टूडेंट एडमिशन कैंसिल करता है तो सिर्फ रोल नंबर 3 को अपना डेटा अपडेट करना है. अच्छा 4 निकल गया तो मेरे बाद सिर्फ सीधा 5 आएगा. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 किसी को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. इवन 1, 2 को भी कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सिर्फ 3 अपना डेटा अपडेट कर लेगा. So that's how linked list works. Okay, We'll stop here and we will continue with the linked list still in the next lecture. We'll go for a few more operations, advantages, and discussions. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for being part of this session here. And tomorrow again, morning, we have DS session. We have 2 sessions tomorrow, 10 o'clock and 2:55. Okay, see you there. Bye-bye.